So is Sidora anxious? Is Sanya anxious? And we're gonna have to get into the mistakes Cynthia made in this marriage to Mike Hill, aka 𝗟𝗍𝗙. Now, stay tuned as we do a deep dive on these three women and their attachment styles. Stick around. So I'm Denise Brady. I'm a therapist. I love TV, pop culture, and mental health. So I put them two things together. And today we're going to get into the three women of Real Housewives of Atlanta: Sanya, Sidora, and Cynthia Bailey. And so I want to start with Cynthia Bailey because icon living, cheekbones, structure, okay, beautiful woman, but has made so many mistakes in her relationship past. And I think Cynthia has a very anxious attachment style. I think sometimes her naiveness, her love for love, wanting to just find happiness has really gotten in the way of her being smart about her romantic choices. And I think at the time she has been blinded by the limelight of just being in love, being in a relationship, okay? We saw it most recently when she married Mike Hill. Now, this was a man who had so many red flags. He wrote a book about his red flags. His children spoke about his red flags, okay? But still, Cynthia was #chill, okay? What was her wedding date? 10/10/20? Her pandemic wedding. We also saw in the past with her past relationships where her naiveness, her anxious attachment style, and it wasn't, to me, at times, anxious attachment style is not as obvious as people think. And that's why I do these videos, because it's not what you often see when you think of anxious. You can see it, you can feel someone's anxiety. It's not always so streamlined. And Cynthia is a perfect example of how someone's attachment style being more anxious really blinds them. Once again, a smart woman, business savvy, beautiful, has the world in her hands, so many opportunities, but at times the men in her life are able to take advantage of her. Take advantage of, like, this is a woman who just wants love. Okay, maybe I could, what can I get out of this? You saw the same thing with Peter Thomas. And I don't know if y'all know, but allegedly, Peter was actually charging her kind of like a manager fee, for being on the show. He got a cut of her check, okay? And I don't know about y'all, but if me and my husband are both on a reality show making money, why is my husband getting a cut of my check? Okay, and so many other business things that Peter has done. And so as a result of that, Cynthia is often left holding the bag for some of these men. Her business choices with these men have not been great. Also, I really believe that there were so many just obvious signs that, she should not have been in a relationship with Mike Hill. Okay, but that anxious attachment style will leave you to ignore red flags. Is it ignoring red flags, or is it just you don't see them? Let me know in the comments, okay? But her anxious attachment style led her down the road of being in a relationship with a man who, to me, I was not quite sure if he was as into her as she was into him. And so you have to recognize also, am I pouring more into this relationship than my partner is? Am I more into him than he is into me? Okay, so do y'all think that Cynthia has more of an anxious attachment style? I could be wrong. And if y'all want to correct me, let me know in the comments, because I am open to feedback. So let me know. All right. Moving on. Sidora. Okay. Sidora, same dynamic. Interesting. Smart. Business savvy. I don't know about that. But has her career, acting, a great mom, but was able to become manipulated, put to the side by her husband. We saw him talk to her so negatively. He had, to me, some narcissistic traits. And once again, I think she really just wanted her marriage to work. She wanted a father for both of her children, and that allowed her to make poor decisions, stay in a relationship longer than she should. And one thing I want to give y'all is that I understand that it is not easy to leave a relationship when you have kids, you have bills, you have a life with this person, but that does not mean that you should put up with so much stuff because of those things. Your children are watching you in this relationship. They pick up on things. You as a parent are mirroring to your children how to be loved, what marriage looks like, what a relationship looks like, what vulnerability looks like. And even though your children might be very young, they pick up on these things. So recognize that. But recently it came out that they were getting a divorce. Were y'all surprised? I was not surprised, because the last 2 seasons he disappeared to Florida. Now he did not go there to see the sand and make a sand castle, okay? That was not why he was in Florida. So that happened. They bought this new house. Her name was not on the lease or the deed, okay? Business ventures that he was doing, using her name, even when they went to counseling. And I think we're going to see more of that this season, of them going to counseling and him just not really seeming too interested, okay? Over and over again, we saw him manipulate, gaslight, real gaslighting, okay? Her trying at times and just feeling like, what's the point of wanting to give up, but knowing that she comes from a church background, which I also think has a lot to do with why she stays so long, in the overtones of religious, I don't want to say trauma for her, but how religion plays a large part in people staying in relationships because they don't believe in divorce, because of how the church will look at them. Those things really, a lot of ways, harm people, because it makes it feel like I have to stay because I will not look like a godly woman. I will not look Christ-like if I leave. Let me know if y'all can relate to that in the comments, because I see that a lot in my clients, okay? So finally they're in a place where they're getting a divorce. I don't wish divorce on anybody, but I do wish happiness. And she did not seem like she was happy for a long time. I think they were trying, maybe more her. I do think there's probably some more salacious stuff that we don't know about, which will probably come out eventually. But from a more psychological perspective, I think she was in a relationship with a man who really wasn't that interested. And because of that, an anxious attachment to wanting love, needing to feel wanted, needing to feel love, probably getting some of her validation from this man, it led her to be in this relationship longer than what she had to. And I think she needs to have more support in her life outside of her church mom. More of just unconditional love and support poured into her, not because she's Sidora, not because she was in the TLC movie, not because she was in the game, but because of me as a person. I think she just needs support for her as a person, especially going through what she's going through. So the anxious attachment style in these women led them to be in poor relationships and stay longer than what they really needed to. And so lastly, Sanya, anxious. I think she wants the group to like her so much. I think physically, obviously Olympian. She is super strong, super resilient, very boisterous. But at times, I feel like she is trying to find her footing, trying to find her way. And so you see that in different scenes with the women of her trying to be a part of this group. And I think it's hard to come into a group atmosphere where the women are established, they've been friends, they've been filming for what, like 15 years? And you come in, what, season 13, 14 years down the line? I think it's very difficult, but you have to come up into these situations with confidence, knowing who you are, not letting the cameras, not letting the women change you. And so for Sanya, she is very anxious of wanting to be accepted. I wonder how much of that has to do with also her being an athlete, her having to be a performer, having to show up and give people what they want. I think that plays a huge role. So I'm interested to see how their lives evolve and change throughout this upcoming season. What do y'all think? Do you think that these women exude anxious attachment? Because some of them be a mixture of some avoidance. But these three women, Cynthia, Drew, Sanya, I think they're more anxious. And I wonder how much more we're going to see of that in this upcoming season. But let me know in the comments what y'all think of this video. Was I spot on? What was I wrong about? Okay, let me know. And I will see y'all in my next video.